From the snow-capped peaks of Cortina to the pulsing heart of Milan, the world has arrived, and the bench is officially empty. Welcome to Olympics from the Bench. Here we go beyond the primetime tape delay and the polished medal counts to bring you the real grit of the Winter Games. We're talking the locker room drama, the underdog heartbreak, and the ice-cold tactical breakdowns that you won't find anywhere else. Whether the return of the pros to the Olympic ice arena or the chaotic debut of ski mountaineering, we're covering every inch of the 2026 Winter Olympic Games with the humanity, curiosity, and the occasional hot take that only ETB can provide you. And now, here's your host, Callan McClurg. Trying something a little different on a late night Thursday into a Friday evening. It is day 0 of the 2026 Milan Cortina Olympics. And with that in mind, folks, we bring you our first edition of what we're calling Olympics from the Bench, a nice half an hour recap and debrief of the 2026 Winter Olympics. Callan McClurg here from our ETV studios here in San Diego. Much appreciative of you. Of everybody here for joining us here on the program here this evening. We are, once again, folks, going to give you, in a way, a somewhat of a half-hour, 45-minute debrief recap of where the Olympic Games currently stand after the first after each day. We are, though, going to be doing this as more of a hybrid model between what will be both a live version like this evening. We'll have some pre-recorded episodes, though, that will, in fact, take the air whenever we do get time to get to these programs. But again, something that we kind of conjured up today, earlier this morning, I should say, to try to bring you folks some Olympic coverage here. Officially day 0 going into day number 1. And again, this is Olympics from the Bench. Callan McClurg here from San Diego. The torch has not been lit, though, just yet. We have we've already seen, though, a 5-goal statement for Team USA, a power outage, and also a very much gnarly stomach bug going around the women's hockey locker rooms here today. Of course, folks, you can follow us at ETB on social media. Of course, we're at ETB Network, and of course, subscribe to us over at youtube.com/ETB Network as well here today. So again, folks, once more, again, Olympics from the Bench live here for the next roughly half an hour. Getting through the first, again, part of the first day, going into the opening ceremonies later this afternoon and evening on Friday. But again, still Thursday night out here on the West Coast. We're going to get you, though, some of the big headlines, though, that came out of day 0, again, with some women's hockey news. Again, we've a lot of that, though, coming up, though, here in the next couple of minutes here involving Team USA's win over Czechia. What is going on, though, with the Finnish national women's hockey team? Apparently, Norovirus is going around the village, though. We'll have more about that. And also, we'll talk some mixed curling. We'll also give out our performance of the night and check in, too, on snowboarding big air and how Team USA is doing, with also some injury updates to both Mark McMorris and Lindsey Vonn as well, and who to watch on Friday to get day number 2 underway in just about a few hours. There are, though, some major events, though, or some big events starting, though, within the next 2 hours on the West Coast. And we'll also, in a way to further entice everybody in some roundabout way, we'll also kind of break down some of these events. You probably heard me and Nick Morgeson talk on Wednesday on Press Row. And this is always the time of the year, though, too, where everyone out there, myself included, yourself included probably, you're rooting for Team USA, and then you try to act like you know all the Olympic Games. We're actually going to be breaking down some of the events, what actually happens in these events when, in fact, the time does roll around here today. But again, but once more, you can find us, though, folks, again, on social media. We're at ETB Network, and again, at youtube.com/ETB Networking. And we got about 55 people already joining us here. So let's kind of get to the nitty gritty and get to the opening segment here, I should say. And that, folks, will lead us into our nightly podium. 3 big stories of the day that will go from the gold medal story, the lead story, to our silver medal, into our bronze medal story. We'll kick things off, though, folks, with the early morning window today. Team USA women's hockey kicks off their quest for another gold medal. They defeat Czechia this morning on Thursday on the West Coast, 5-1, outshooting the Czechs 42-14. in this game, led by Hayley Scamurra's 2 goals and a clinical performance, and Hilary Knight in her 5th and final Olympic Games scores late in the game for Team USA. They also got goals from Alex Carpenter, Joy Dunn, on top of the 2 from Scamurra and Hilary Knight, adding the final cherry on top for Team USA. But also wanted to give a shout out to real quick as well to Czech goaltender Klara Pesalarova, who made 37 saves and really kept Czechia in this game. And I should also mention, by the way, folks, what maybe you probably didn't hear on the broadcast, if you caught the live game today, you caught the re-airing on USA this afternoon as well, or maybe today. This Olympic format is a little bit different from what Kenny Albert and AJ Malesko were saying on USA. Group A, and I did not know this until I actually tuned in to watch the game this morning and early afternoon. Group A has already gotten basically first round buys or a automatic like golden ticket in a way to the Olympic quarterfinal round, which I believe does include, I'm going to double check myself for clarity, but I believe that this will include Team USA, Canada, the Czechs, Finland, and at least one other nation, with how the tournament has been spaced out though and how it is going on and how the format is. Again, obviously we have talked though as well as Nick and I have you probably have heard Nick and I talk about though too. The ice arena problems have also not come up yet, though, but they have obviously been a very hot commodity and hot talking point, though. But from what I saw, though, the ice looked good, though, at the rink today. Again, Team USA wins the game 5-1 over Czechia this morning on this Thursday to kick off the tournament. Again, not really much more to further get into. I'm mainly double-checking, though, about how, in fact, this tournament is working. Because if, in fact, the stat is correct, though, or the note that was passed on by both Kenny Albert and AJ Malesko, Group A automatically gets like a throwaway already into the quarterfinal round, though. So Team USA, Canada, Finland, the Czechs, and the Swiss, per the reports, have already been given a automatic bid in some way. Again, I'm trying to check that, though, for just for retrospect here when it comes to that. But regardless, though, should also mention, by the way, this is also Team USA's youngest roster for a hockey tournament since 2000, or since the pro era began, of an age of about 26.2 years old for that. And also 12 different American-born players made their debut today, including a bunch of the phenoms too from Canada, or from the college ranks, though. And I think, though, good as well for this team to kind of get that first game out of the way, though. And I also did notice one other trend, though, in the game today, that even though the game was kind of already in the bag, you can kind of say, though, it's already 5-1. I really love, though, how Team USA was still pressuring in this game. AJ Malesko and then Angela Ruggiero made a very great point, though, too, post-game, that Abby Murphy was out there still playing physical, trying to start some, maybe start a little bit of beef in a roundabout way with the Czechs, though, but still, in a way, putting the pressure on, though, and not taking your foot off the gas pedal, as, in fact, we usually see a team maybe do early stage of any tournament, like a pool play round, a qualification round, preliminary round. You're probably used to, okay, maybe you sit back a bit. You probably don't, attack offensively. And Team USA did not do that. They kept pressing forward today. And again, getting goals from Carpenter, 2 from Scamurra, 1 from Joy Dunn, and 1 again from Hilary Knight to win the game 5-1 earlier this morning on Thursday here from the West Coast to move to 1-0 over Czechia in Group A play. The sidebar, though, folks, for the women's hockey tournament, though, is the overshadowing of the Finnish national team having their first game postponed due to what has been reported to be a suspected norovirus outbreak has hit the Milan cluster. Reports have indicated that at least 14 players and staff members have now been incapacitated and now in quarantine. Now, what we have gathered, and this is still kind of in a way a developing story here, even at this hour of the evening, but right now, under the IIHF rules, teams must have at least 15 skaters and 2 goalies. Finland could not dress their full squad, though, and the game has been rescheduled for next Thursday. Now, this though does throw Group A into a massive tailspin. If Finland cannot recover in 2 days' time to play Team USA coming up on Saturday, we're looking at maybe a forfeit that maybe changes the whole bracket. And I have got to tell you that this really sucks to hear for the Finnish national team, who's been, they've been third, they've been fourth, they've been in the top 4, top 5 of women's hockey. And you do all the hard work to get to the Olympic stage. And then wham, slam, bam, this happens. Norovirus. Literally day 1 of the tournament. Now, again, we are, again, as we have with anybody else, we're hoping and praying for the best, though, for all the players who, again, have been, hit by the illness right now at this stage. But, man, this is really a tough pill to swallow early right now. So they've given the Finns at least a 2-day kind of reset period, hopefully get those players healthy, get the staff healthy. But never a good sign, though, when you kick off the games before the opening ceremony, and then you got an outbreak of an illness running through the village already after day 0. Not the best news to hear as we get the tournament underway over in Milan so far here today for day 0, and we're still trying to, in a way, to figure this out. As quick clarification that the game coming up on the 6th will be Czechia playing Switzerland at 14:40 24-hour time over in Milan. And Finland right now is still scheduled to play that game with Team USA coming up on Saturday at, I think, roughly 7:10 a.m. Pacific, 10:40 or 10:10 or 10:40 a.m. Eastern time coming up on Saturday, as we await to still hear what we can tell you. But we will keep an eye, though, on that story whenever we do, in fact, have this program. But, again, hoping the best, though, because that really right now does put the group in a bit of a pickle right now, with not everyone playing the same amount of games right now at this stage. So we'll see what happens. And that would really, I think, though, suck for Finland to not be able to compete because of an illness. And, again, something beyond their control happening within the confines of Milan. So we'll see if they can still get that game played coming up on Saturday against Team USA. The bronze medal story, though, folks, is one from the mixed doubles curling, and also the lights going out 5 minutes into the opening session. The blackout of 26 during the morning session, and that, of course, made waves across social media. The power stayed on in the evening, but the humidity in the arena made the ice very heavy and slow. For Team USA, Chris Pleiss and Vicky Persinger split their matches on Thursday. They now sit at 3-2, and also a damper in a way. I say it's a damper, though, folks, because I think with any Olympic Games, though, we're so used to it being there's always something popping up. Now, let's not, in a way, lose our minds. Like, oh, my goodness, how can this happen? This is, again, day 0, going now into day 1. Okay, lights going out's one thing. Illness going through the village is one thing. I mean, I know that, like, every game, though, that every Olympic Games, though, there's always something. I think I recall back to Paris, I want to say in 24, there was the issue with the Nine River, I think, where they had, like, the very high contamination levels of the sewer lines and, toxicity being in the water. Basically, they had to keep measuring the water levels every day for that. But also, it is just only day 0 at this rate and at this point in time. Again, for Team USA, Chris Pleiss and Vicky Persinger splitting their matches on day 0. They are currently 3-2. And who would have thought, though, that curling in a fog bank would not be on the bingo card in 2026. Also, Canada beating Italy 8-1 in their match as well earlier this afternoon and evening over in Milan as well. That, of course, first big event for the Italian national team over there. Watched some of that today. Had a very great ovation whenever they would score points. And also the Italian women's hockey team also won their opening round game 2 to much of the delight of the home fans as well. So always, I think, great when you see I do think, though, it is great, though, too, whenever the host nation does do well for the opening couple of events, that they are, in fact, able to celebrate that and get those first couple of wins underneath their belt. Away from the opening topics, though, to our performance of the night, though, again, I'm going to bring back up once more from the Czechia national women's hockey team, Klara Peslarvova. Easy for me to say, even as a hockey announcer. But good for her, though, once more. Despite the loss, though, Rather than we honor a losing side, though, however, though, Clara faced a literal firing squad today of the U.S. national team, though. Again, 5-1, though, was the final score, but still, though, in a way, a -4 goal differential. And again, Czechia, I also should have mentioned, though, as well at the top of the program. They have, in a way, though, grown their women's hockey program the last several years. It's been great to see, though. They've now become a very good force, though. Obviously, men's side, though, with what they have, though, between Radko Gudas and David Pastrnak, for example, the Czech Republic national women's team, though, they've been really much elevating the product, though, investing their money properly to both sides of their hockey. And again, Clara Pesalarvia, once again, despite the 5 goals, though, 37 saves, though, and really did keep this game close. Because as we probably know, though, in any Olympic competition, goal differential becomes a very hot and talking point. So -4 after one day, not bad. You got a chance to bounce back versus the Swiss national team on Friday back in Milan. So we'll see, though, because this is also a very big thing, though, folks. A lot of times, though, in the preliminary rounds, though, you might see a lot of goaltenders being moved around, though, men's and women's, though, to make sure there's equal opportunity to play, but also keep everybody fresh, though. Again, Aaron Frankel, for example, played today for Team USA, gave up 1 goal in the second period, though. We'll see, though, what teams do, in fact, alter or choose to do, though, when it comes to that idea. Do you roll with all 3? Do you ride the hot goalie, for example? But again, Clara, once more, for the Czech national team, bravo, hats off, though. Respect the mask for what she did. Let's move away, though, folks, from that into a bit of a Team USA check-in. Men's big air qualifying also took place earlier this afternoon on the West Coast. And out of the 4 American men to qualify for the big air qualifiers, how about 17-year-old Ollie Martin, standout American, qualifying for the final, as Sean Fitzsimons missed the cut after a very brutal DNI on his third and final run, which is the did not improve. But, of course, the main talking points, though, will, in fact, be Su Yiming, the defending gold medal winner from China. He looked human today. He was 4th in qualifying, but also got to keep an eye, too, on Tiago Hasegawa, who topped the charts, though. I did watch this in its full entirety today. A very long event, by the way. A lot of, great talent, though. I mean, I think we all agree, though, too, in a roundabout way, though. Judging a lot of these sports, though, is just very much up and down in a roundabout way. Tough, though, I think, to see the 3 Americans not make it. Obviously, I think Red Gerard not making this event, though. Strong start. Jake Cantor, by the way, had the lead for, I think, the first at least half an hour until he finally got bumped out of that. And then it seemed like, though, after run 1, 3 of those 4 Americans, Fitzsimons, Cantor, and Gerard, they never were able to recover. And I don't know if that was just from the fact of judging, if it was maybe a wipeout here or there. But I mean, either way, though, Ollie Martin, 17 years old, moving on to the final on Saturday. But again, very big field, though, in that event this afternoon over in Milan, or over in Cortina, I should say. But I was very impressed, though. And that is an event I think we all kind of get up for, because it's that big air event. It's the adrenaline rush and the adrenaline junkie event. But congrats again to Team USA's Ollie Martin, 17 years old, moving on. For Team USA, out of the 4, though, again, Red Gerard is out, Sean Fitzsimons is out, and also as is Jake Cantor, again, was the leader for a high majority of run number 1 this earlier on day 0. But again, we'll keep an eye too on Su Yiming and also Tiago Hasegawa. But again, Yiming, who's the defending gold medal winner, was 4th in qualifying on day 0. So certainly the wide open field, though, the top 12 did go. And again, Ollie Martin once more is moving on. As of right now, the medal count, 0. Official medal count begins on Saturday. Team USA, though, has successfully qualified 3 riders, though, in the big air finals, though, at this rate. Mainly, though, at this rate as well. Martin, again, qualifying for the final. Sean Fitzsimons, though, could not recover, though, as again, he got a DNI, which, again, is not a good thing, though, because that means he did not improve on his scores from the first 2 rounds. Moving, folks, to general news, though, within the village right now. Big time bad news, though, on the injury home front. This also, folks, was broken late Wednesday night, I should say. That, of course, was Mark McMorris, again, the legendary Canadian snowboarder, was badly injured in practice runs on Wednesday. Mark had to put out a video on Instagram saying he was okay, though, but he did say he did hit his head on Wednesday and had to pull out, though, of the event on Thursday. And also the other big news, Can she catch a break? I don't think so. Lindsey Vonn has confirmed, though, she will be competing her downhill skiing runs, despite the torn ACL she suffered in training, which, I mean, at the rate we're going, though, folks, are we surprised, though, about Lindsey Vonn? I mean, talk about the knockdown comeback of this woman's career. And I even think, though, that on the McMorris home front, there was a mind-boggling graphic that NBC put up today on USA. Mark has come back from at least four career-ending injuries that the common man would not come back from. I think there was broken ribs, 17 broken bones, a medically induced coma, for heaven's sakes, and now this here with the concussion he suffered in the run, though I think he even had to be stretchered off the course, I want to say, too. So let's kind of, in a way, though, keep an eye, too, on how McMorris, if he does, in fact, come back for other events, though, but also you got to believe, though, that Lindsey Vonn, though we love her to death, folks, this has to be the final run, sadly, for Vonn with another ripped ACL, and to now compete on that ACL injury. We're also, in a way, though, folks, keep an eye, too, Chloe Kim was also injured as well earlier in the running before the Olympics began on today, on Wednesday out here on the West Coast, or Thursday on the West Coast. I mean, the injuries already piling up, though, is not a good sign, with three of the biggest names right now between Mac, Vonn, and now Kim, all three now, in a way, being hurt right now by injuries. So we will see, though, how they go out in snowboarding, and also with both Chloe Kim and Mark McMorris, though, with the snowboarding side of things. And, of course, Lindsey Vonn, legendary running for her, though. But, again, we'll be competing on that bad ACL she suffered in practice runs earlier in the week. Let's take a look, though, folks, that we have to keep an eye out for as well. How about an eye out right now for Adriana Fontana, Italy's queen of the short track speed skating, and a lock for a torch moment. She is going to be, she'll be one to watch as well. And also Federica Brignone, the skiing flag bearer for Italy during tomorrow's opening ceremony. So we'll keep an eye on both those two as more events do kick off tomorrow. With that in mind, folks, let's get those alarms set. We'll get to our final segment here already. Again, it's only a half an hour show. But let's go and get to the opening day. While the opening ceremony is happening at San Siro as the main course, we actually have a full slate of appetizers before the torch is lit on Friday morning on the West Coast. Again, all these times, by the way, are going to be Pacific time for those wondering. The 4 events to watch, I'm going to offer you to give up, or watch, I should say. Before that, actually, good reminder. We're also, folks, going to kind of, in a way, break down some of the events, though, to kind of, in a way, get your mind kind of in the right place, though, if you do, in fact, watch some of these events. We're coming, folks, from the chalkboard. We are breaking down the new and nuanced, but also breaking down Olympic events for those out there. A new event this year is ski mountaineering, what they're calling Skimo. Yes, Skimo, not emo, Skimo. So first off, here's how this works here. So Skimo is the newest Olympic sport, and we are here to tell you that it's basically a NASCAR pit crew met a marathon runner on a glacier. So the skins is the gear. Athletes will use skins, or carpet-like strips of synthetic fur, but stick to the bottom of their skis, which let you glide forward but grip the snow so you don't slide backwards. It's literally mountain climbing on skis, like you're literally like on a hike, basically. Then there is the pit stop of the transition area. This is where it's won or lost. In the transition area, they have to rip those skins off, lock their boots in a downhill mode, and then stow their poles, all while they're hurtling, or their heartbeats at 109, or while their heartbeats at 190 miles beats per minute. If you fumble a skin, you're looking at the back of someone's jersey for the rest of the heat. Then there is the boot pack section. The incline gets so steep that the skis come off. They click them to their backpacks, literally and figuratively, and sprint upstairs, carved into the snow. It is a purely anaerobic madness. So ski mountaineering. It's basically like literally a NASCAR pit crew with a marathon runner on a glacier. And then if you are watching curling, you've heard about power plays in hockey, but how about a power play in curling? Every team gets one power play per game. Usually the end starts with one stone in the house inside of the giant target, and one guard stone right on the center line. When a power play is called, you move those stones to the wings, right or left side, the sides of the sheet, which clears the middle, opens the super highway to the button, and makes it way easier to score multiple points. It's the ultimate in case of emergency button or break glass. But why is it so much more exhausting? In a four-man game, you have two dedicated sweepers. In mixed doubles, though, there's only two people on ice, period. If I throw up a stone, for example, I might have to immediately run down after it and then sweep it on my own while my partner calls the line. It's literally a two-person circus. So a little bit of insight there with ski mountaineering and also the ever-infamous power play for curling. I know you know about power plays in hockey, but how about that, though, with power plays as well over in curling? Now, back to the task at hand, though, folks. The final segment here for the show tonight, once more, is our Tomorrow from the Bench for day one officially. Tomorrow, again, is the big day. Again, the opening ceremony will take place at San Siro as the main course, but there's also a huge slate of full slate, though, tomorrow of appetizers before the torch is even lit inside the cauldron. Again, our four picks for tomorrow for you to watch. Again, all times are Pacific Standard Time. Keep that in mind, though, folks. That'll be coming up first at 12:55 a.m. tomorrow morning with figure skating with the team event. The heavy hitters hit the ice. It is the rhythm dance, followed by the pairs and the women's short programs. We have Team USA facing Japan already neck and neck with this event, though. That'll be at 12:55 a.m. Pacific Time, 3:55 a.m. Eastern over, I believe, on NBC or on USA. At 1:05 a.m., Team USA Canada in mixed doubles curling. The border war on ice as both Persinger and Pleiss need to win this to solidify their spot in the bracket play for the tournament, or they might be out before day one even begins officially on Friday. Coming up at 3:10 a.m. Pacific Time, women's ice hockey, France versus Japan from Group B. Massive game for the middle of the road of Group B. And then, of course, 11 a.m. Pacific Time is the opening ceremony. This will be it, though, with 80,000 screaming fans alongside Mariah Carey, Andrea Bocelli, and the Parade of Nations. All 92 of them will, in fact, be there tomorrow at this rate. Maybe one bold prediction. I'm telling you right now, folks, that we might have to keep an eye, though, on the roof of San Siro. There are rumors of a high wire stunt that might make our hearts skip. As for the torch, I'm putting my money on maybe a soccer legend to pass it on to a 2006 hero from Torino. With that, though, folks, in mind, very much a brief show. Again, only half an hour here once more, as we have said, though. We're going to be, again, folks, kind of in a way, popping in and out here at this rate. We'll see how this, in fact, goes. Our good man, Nick Morganson, writes, Callan, will this new event last longer than the event based on dancing called breaking? Do we have to bring up that trauma, Nick, from Raygun with the Australian national breakdancing team in Paris a couple of years ago? I think, Nick, ice dancing is here to stay, unlike breakdancing from Paris 2 years ago. I mean, that, Nick, is probably one of the worst Olympic flops of all time, sadly. I mean, I get it, though, that they wanted to, again, the Olympics are used to test run events like breaking. Even, Nick, we know very well, flag football and lacrosse coming in 2 years in LA in 2028 for the Summer Olympics, for example. But I would prefer ice dancing any day of the week that ends in the letter Y and twice on Sunday, including this upcoming Sunday for the Super Bowl. With that, though, folks, in mind, grateful to have you folks here. Didn't really realize we'd be having this many people watching a 30-minute or a half-hour late-night recap of day 0 for the Olympic Games. But again, to reiterate once more, folks, we'll have some of these live in the evening time slots here on ETB. We'll have some, though, that are also put out to fill some time, especially if I'm going to be out, as I am going to be out, though, with some work and some other events I'm going to be at as a fan. But we will, though, folks, bring you this, though, for the next 17 days in some capacity here on ETB. A major thank you, by the way, to our good man, Nick Morganson, for letting me handle this program here for the next 17 days. Again, it will be, again, once more, folks, a mixture of live programming as we are here tonight and also some pre-recorded and put out to air during the course of the week and also in the evening, especially, too. We will have this as well on Super Bowl Sunday. But to kind of, again, debrief once more again, big stories from the Olympics. Day 0, Team USA women's national hockey team wins 5-1 over Czechia this morning. Again, keeping an eye, though, too, on that story involving the Finnish national team having the Norovirus outbreak at the worst possible time. Mixed doubles will continue later today as well with Chris Pleiss and Vicky Persinger having to win at 1:55 a.m. this morning on the West Coast against Canada to hopefully make the bracket at this rate. But we'll see you folks back here again on Friday for for a full recap of day one from Milan Cortina, folks. Till next time, this has been our first edition of Olympics from the Bench here on ETV. Callan McClurg saying good night. We'll see you back here later on Friday for more from Milan Cortina, folks. Have a great night and a great day. Till tomorrow. Bye-bye.